It's something we're all too familiar with. Discrimination being cast upon someone due to the language they speak or the accent they hold. Something some people would like to call history, but is all too relevant today. Language discrimination is defined by legal aid at work as when a person is treated differently because of her native language or other characteristics of her language skills. Since this country's founding, discrimination on basis of race, sexual orientation, gender, language, and many other non-controllable aspects of a human have been the acceptable norm. Snap judgments of someone could get them mocked, verbally assaulted, and in the worst cases, death. One of the most puzzling questions is why this was even occurring at all. So how does language discrimination play into our roles as future educators? Here's a quick overview of 3 important models to look for as teachers. Lippy Green gives a great rundown on what she calls the language subordination model. And here are some of the key points. While there is no standard English actually classified, those in power are seen as speaking normal, unaccented English. Language becomes standardized, and that standardization happens and solidifies itself in the school system. This is why teachers have to be very aware of the language being used in their classrooms. Another model to pay attention to when teaching is the socio-psychological models of language learning. This model shows how important the social aspect of learning a language is. Without the right, safe, and welcoming environment, language learning can actually be hindered and non-productive. Social interactions combined with one's physical appearance and individual identities all contribute to how an English language learner feels. One last model to pay attention to as teachers is Cortez's contextual model. Similar to the previous, Cortez's model puts importance behind the context in which students learn a language. This model points out that different language minority groups experience very different successes in school. The contextual model shows the inequity happening in schools quite blatantly. As teachers, these models help give us an insight to how and or why our ELLs are learning the way they are. Teachers can focus on one or a combination of all models to create warm and welcoming classrooms that foster positive learning experiences. So while language discrimination is still very alive and well in this country, there are ways as educators we can help. Keeping these 3 models in mind, while teaching, we can help avoid continuing the racist cycle of the language discrimination in the United States school system.